Hello, welcome. It's been a while since we've done a video because the Parrot podcast has taken over. But it is time for a video because we have been asked this question tons and tons of times over the last few weeks and months, year. So it is time to do this video, and the video is on how to tame your parrot. But most importantly, everybody wants to know how to hold their conure like an ice cream or a burrito, just like Mia is right now. Always treat your bird with lots of love because they love love, and love is going to help you build trust with your bird so that you can maybe hold them like a burrito. Okay, so let's talk about taming birds and how to hold them. This hold is actually really good because it has built a bond and trust between me and Mia. She feels comfortable with me holding her like this. One thing that I do want to note is that when you are holding your bird like this, you want to make sure you have a gentle hold. You're not squeezing them, you're not grasping them, and that they feel comfortable. I also hold Mia in a way where I support her whole body, and a lot of times she also holds on to my thumb here and she just loves it. Now, this is really helpful when I want to give her scritches, so I might give her neck scritches or head scritches in this position. She also loves to nap in this position. It's where she feels safe and comfortable and happy, but it's also a really good way for me to be able to do like husbandry checks. Like if I want to check her crop, or if I want to feel around and make sure that everything's all good, groovy like a drive-in movie, baby. And also I'll wrap her sometimes in a towel in this way and hold her this way, and she feels comfortable, she trusts me, and I can, for example, file her nails down a little bit. So this is a really helpful thing to be able to do with your bird. It also makes it easier when we go to the vet because this is something that's familiar to her. It might not be a familiar hand when she goes to the vet, but nonetheless, it is familiar. So as you may know, conures are very energetic, social, outgoing birds. They love to interact with their owners. They can also sometimes get a little bit nippy, and it's just their personality. Those are common characteristics of a conure, but it doesn't mean that every conure is going to be exactly the same, because please remember, they are individuals and they do have their own little personalities. And some birds might be really cuddly and affectionate, and some might not be. Now, the first thing that I do want to say is from the moment that we brought Mia home, we raised her with a ton of love. We just loved on her. We were patient with her. We were kind. We were gentle. And I think that that is super important. Which brings me to the first point, and that is that when it comes to bonding, patience is key. You need to be patient with your bird. You can't force interactions. It has to be on their consent. They have to want to have these interactions, these close interactions. They have to feel comfortable with your hands. And we're going to talk about how to do all those things and all the steps and tips that I'm going to share today. But that is the first thing, is be patient. Don't expect your bird to just right away be comfortable being held like this, because it takes work and it takes time. Don't rush the process. Take it step by step and allow it to the bond to grow. Allow the bond to grow. And you also want to be respectful of your bird, of their boundaries, of their limitations, of how they're feeling in any moment. Like their moods might change. They also have different preferences, different moods. Sometimes Mia wants to be held like this and she crawls into my hand and starts to fall asleep. And other times I might want to hold her and smother her because she's looking so cute and I just want to give her a kiss, but she's not in the mood for it. And so I say, okay, no problem. You don't want to be held right now, and that's totally fine. So you have to be respectful of their wants and needs as well. When you first get your bird, it's so exciting and you just want to hang out with them and you want to hold them and you want to kiss them and you want to scratch them and you want to do all these things. But you have to remember that they are prey animals. And so in the wild, like sudden sounds, sudden movements, big things, hands, new things, they're scary to them. So you need to approach them really slowly. At first, when we brought Mia home, I would just like hang out near her cage or have the cage door open and let her come to me if she wanted to. I would just hang out, be on my phone, message, do stuff on the computer, watch TV, read a book, and just hang out near her and allow her to get comfortable with my presence. Then over time, I started to offer her treats. And whenever she accepted them, I would include some positive reinforcement like, yay, good girl, lots of positive praise. And that's another thing. I also talk to her in a soft, calm voice. I don't sing very well, but I sing very often, and I think that that's something that she also enjoys. So I have fun. I talk to her. I talk sweetly. I talk kindly. I tell her, honestly, positive affirmations. I tell her things like, you're a beautiful bird. You're such a good bird. You're the best girl in the whole world. You are always healthy. You are always loved, and things like that. This is something that is really soothing for them. It's the calm approach, and I think that's really important. If you react suddenly, or you scream, or you freak out, or you're yelling, that is going to also scare them. And birds are very intelligent. They go off of our emotions. So if we're feeling sad, if we're feeling frustrated, if we're feeling angry, they're going to feed off of that. So you also want to be mindful of your emotions. And when you're trying to bond with your bird, try to always ensure that you're having those positive interactions when you're feeling happy, you're feeling joyful, you're feeling good. The other thing that I also found really helpful is like playing soothing music and calming music, or if I played some like more upbeat music, I would dance around and sing and just have fun with her. And eventually she wanted to join in. She's always flying over to my shoulder or coming on my head because she wants to be a part of the fun action. And so I would include her also in my daily activities. Like if I was, making myself a coffee in the morning, or if I was sitting down to the computer to work, I would allow her to be a part of my daily routine. In the evening, when I go to take a shower, she comes with me. So I include her in my routine. And another thing that I would do is whenever I could share food with her, like if I was cutting up bell peppers, then I would first let her have a bite and then I would have a bite, or I would have a bite of one and I would give her another piece. So I would share things with her too, to create that bond and that trust and that like flock type of behavior. I also provide lots of opportunities in our home for her to have stands and ropes and play areas and games and foraging puzzles and things like that. And sometimes, especially when they're brand new toys, I'll show her how to use them, or I'll play the games with her so that she can get used to it, and then she can self-entertain and be independent and have fun on her own and just bird, because she is a bird and we want her to bird. She's not a feathered little human. She is a bird, so I want to offer things for her to do that she would potentially also do in the wild, or that she has natural instincts to do, like foraging and flying around and things like that. And I mentioned a little bit earlier, but treats, offering treats and positive reinforcement is also going to help strengthen your bond with them. And when you offer treats or you offer things from your hand and it's always good things, then eventually, they get more comfortable with your hands and they realize that these hands aren't scary. They're not going to hurt me. So another thing that you can do once they feel a little bit more comfortable is step-up training. And step-up training is really important and really helpful because you just offer your finger and they will step up for you. And you want to do this with treats, especially high value treats, meaning the treats that they like and they would do anything for, especially is helpful during training, like step-up training to get them comfortable with your hands. The other thing that I need to mention is that you never want to raise your hands in a threatening or scary way towards your birds, because that is probably one of the best ways to lose their trust. And it's just going to be a setback in building that bond, building that trust. Positive reinforcement and all of these different positive things are a way for you to reinforce good behavior or behaviors that you want to see more of, like being able to hold them. Now, how to hold your bird like a burrito or an ice cream. Well, the first thing is you want to make sure that you've gotten your bird to a point where they're not scared of your hands, they feel comfortable with your hands, they're not biting your hands or attacking your fingers every time they see them, that you have step-up training down packed and they feel comfortable. And so a parrot being on their back or being held this way is not normal or natural for them. So what you're going to want to do, if Mia will let go of my finger, is you want to practice getting your hand close to their back. And you can start from a distance and then slowly come closer and closer and closer and reward them when your hand is from a distance and getting closer. As they get more comfortable, reward them every single time. You can use a clicker as well to let them know that, yes, this is the behavior I want to see. But this is something that you can do once you've built that bond and that trust with your bird, and having your hand close to them and then closer and closer and closer and rewarding each time. And then you want to get to a point where you're just putting your hand gently on their back and you want to reward for that. And eventually, once they get comfortable with you having their hand there, you might want to wrap your fingers around. And eventually you can guide them over to your thumb. And once you've held them like this, give them a treat right away. So once you've gotten to a point where you are able to wrap your hand around your bird and they'll come up, then you're going to reward them again. And you want to always reward the behaviors that you want to see and let them associate that this is something that's good. I get rewarded for this, and let them have a positive association with it. So high value rewards are going to be your friend in getting your bird to this point. And you also have to read your bird's body language. If they're finished, if they don't want to keep training or keep practicing, or they're starting to get uncomfortable or agitated, you need to listen to them and you need to stop. You can come back to it later, or you can come back to it the next day, but always listen to your bird's body language and get to know their behaviors and their sounds so that you know when they're agitated. And at first, you'll want to hold your bird just for a few seconds, reward them, and let go. Over time, you can start to hold them for longer and longer periods of time. Mia's at a point now where I can hold her for a long period of time, especially if she wants to take a nap in my hand. She feels comfortable. She trusts me. I trust her. I also know when she wants to be held and when she doesn't want to be held. And so we have that mutual understanding, and I think that that is what created this beautiful relationship. Remember that every bird is different, and some birds might not take to this as quickly. With some birds, it might be a little bit longer or a little bit more work, especially if you've adopted a bird or rescued a bird and they have a little bit of trauma. But the key to success here is patience, understanding, and approaching your bird in a calm way and getting to really know them, and just giving them the time to want to spend that time with you and to not be fearful of your hands. I wanted to answer a quick question that I promised that I would in a future video or podcast episode. So here it is. They said, love your channel and your energy and your beautiful Mia. Thank you. Would love to know how she got her name if you feel like sharing in one of your videos. XOXO. So Mia got her name actually because there's actually a lot of different factors into how we chose her name. And originally, you might know that we had Mango, and Mango is going to join us, but things didn't work out. And with Mango, we thought, well, his name starts with an M, so let's name our next bird with a name that starts with the letter M. So we were looking at M names, and that's how we narrowed down that it would be a name that starts with M. And we were thinking, you know, if they both have a name that starts with M, they'll be like our M&Ms, LOL. And so we narrowed it down to actually Mia or Maya because we really liked those names. And we ended up going with Mia because when we looked at the definition of Mia, it's ocean goddess or something along those lines. And she has the colors of the ocean: blue, turquoise, hues of green. And so we thought because she's a turquoise green cheek conure, it would be perfect because of the meaning. So that's how she got her name, Mia. So that's it. Those are our quick tips on how to bond with your bird, how to hold them like an ice cream and get them to feel more comfortable with you and build that trust. I hope that this video helps you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for a good vibe. And we'll see you guys in the next video or podcast episode. Don't forget to tune in to the Parrot Podcast. And if you'd like to support our videos and our podcast episodes, you can buy us a coffee. Mostly the coffee is for me because it helps fuel me, but I'll leave that in the description below if you'd like to buy us a coffee and support our channel. Oh yeah, and Mia and I just wanted to say, stay clawsome, you're awesome.